Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to another video. In today's video, we are going to discuss about how can we clear our mind. Now, so many of you complain when I'm meditating, when I'm studying, there are so many thoughts popping inside our mind. I cannot stop it. I'm worried. What can I do? Well, the reason for this problem is we are looking at the meditation and we are looking at our mind in a wrong way. Always remember, meditation is not about emptying your mind. Okay? You can meditate while having thoughts inside your mind. That is the most wonderful thing about meditation. You don't want to empty your mind. You don't want to close the mind and let not other thoughts come in. No. Okay? Just try this to yourself. If you try to stop thoughts, what will happen? The nature of your mind is it will generate more thoughts again and again. Okay? That is the nature of your mind. Because we don't know that trying to stop thoughts is also a thought. Okay, so remember, meditation is not about stopping thoughts. It is about being aware of your thoughts. There is one practice in Buddha's teachings. It is called Chittanupassana. In Chittanupassana, Buddha introduced us to a wonderful meditation of being aware of what comes into your mind. Okay, let the thoughts come into your mind, but be aware of it. Because most of the time, we are not aware of what is going inside our mind. That is the problem. That is why we get caught to these unwholesome thoughts like greediness, craving, anger, hatred, and a lot of things. Okay? Because we don't know what is going inside our mind. The Buddha teaches us, that Buddha introduced us this meditation to be aware of what is coming into your mind. Let's say a lustful thought came to your mind. Okay, it's okay. Everyone feels lust. Everyone feels this craving and desire inside their mind. But the problem with most people is they don't know that their mind is under desire, under lust. Okay, but if you can be mindful, okay, if you can detect when the lust arises, this is a lustful thought that is popping inside my mind. If you can detect it, if you can identify it, then the nature of your mind is once you identify your thoughts, once you are aware of that thought, it will start to be silent. Okay? It is something like a little baby. Look at your mind like a little baby. Okay? Now, when we are not aware of the babies, what they are doing? They are doing a lot of nasty things, okay? They are doing a lot of naughty things. Why? Because we are not aware of them. But once we pay our attention, they try to behave. Okay? Because they know that my parent or these elders are being aware of me. Okay? So they try to be disciplined. And also, the nature of kids and the nature of little kids is they are very curious. So does the mind. Mind is very curious. It likes to cling into certain things and like to search certain things. So what we can do to quiet our mind or to make silence inside our mind is just to pay attention to what comes into your mind. Don't try to stop it. Okay? The more you try to stop it, the more it will come. So what we have to do, just be aware of it. When you become aware of what is going inside your mind, you bring your mind to this present moment. Because these thoughts and everything that goes inside your mind happening in this present moment. If you can see the appearance of the thoughts, and if you can see the passing away or fading away of the thoughts, it will start to get quieter. Okay? So when your mind is busy, in the next time, try this. When your mind is busy, when a lot of thoughts come into your mind, just try to identify one thought. Look at your mind like you're looking at an external thing, okay? And try to identify one thought. When it arises, you can identify, okay, it is arising now. When it fades away, okay, you're knowing and you are understanding that this thought is fading away. Once you do that, it is very amazing that your mind gets silent and quieter even more. So this is how we can clear and quiet our mind to when we do meditations or when we are doing certain things in our life. So keep this advice in your life and practice it. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to another video. Today, I'm going to introduce you to this basic and simple Buddhist practice. And this practice is known as Sila. Now, the word Sila is a Pali word that we can translate it to English as ethical conduct or virtue. Now, in Buddhism, the Buddhist teachings are always directed to the liberation of mind, or it is the ultimate goal of Buddhism, the liberation of mind from all the sufferings. To achieve this state, Buddha taught us that you should practice 3 practices. First one is Sila, which we are going to discuss today. It is called the ethical conduct. Second one is Samadhi. Samadhi means concentration. And the third one is Panya, or it is known as wisdom in Buddhism. So Sila plays a crucial role in Buddhism and Buddhist practice. So what do you mean by ethical conduct? Ethical conduct helps you to be disciplined from your body and from your words. Okay? So once you become disciplined from your body and from your words, then normally your mind will be disciplined. So these are coexisting, okay? That means these practices help each other, okay? Once you become disciplined with your mind, you can be disciplined from your body and from your words. Or if you become disciplined from your body and words, normally, automatically it happens that your mind will be disciplined. So that is why the Buddha introduced us these ethical conducts or practice of virtues in Buddhism. Now, basically, Buddha taught us that we need to practice 5 precepts. Okay, these are 5 guidelines that Buddha taught us to practice in daily life. Now, for someone, you may feel like they are a set of rules, but in reality, Buddha never imposed rules on anyone. Okay, these are guidelines, and these are the things that Buddha teaches us to practice because Buddha saw that there are disadvantages if you break these guidelines. For an example, the first practice of Sila is to abstain from killing beings. Okay, so when you kill animals, there are so many disadvantages that comes to your life, and also you acquire a bad karma because your actions and your intentions are unwholesome. Once you kill animals, kill living beings, your intentions are unwholesome. So through unwholesome intentions and actions, what will happen? You will gain bad karma. And that bad karma will lead to suffering in one's life. And that is why Buddha said, there are disadvantages and there are bad consequences when you do these things. Okay, when you kill animals, when you steal, there are disadvantages that comes to your life. So as beings who likes to be happy in your life, okay, in your personal life, if you like happiness, then stay away from these bad deeds or unwholesome deeds. So abstaining from these unwholesome deeds is known as precepts in Buddhism, or Sila, or virtue in Buddhism. Okay, so there are mainly 5 precepts that we all need to practice. The first one is abstaining from killing beings, staying away from harming anyone's life. Okay, first one. The second practice is abstaining from stealing, abstaining from taking anyone's possessions without permission, okay, without asking. That is an unwholesome deed, and that has many bad consequences. Okay, people have to suffer if they do that. Second one is, Buddha said, abstain or stay away from sexual misconduct. Okay, because when you engage in sexual misconduct, that leads to many bad consequences in your relationships. Okay, so Buddha said, stay away from sexual misconduct. Third one is abstain from or stay away from lying. Okay, when you lie, you break the trust of people. Once you break the trust, there are many problems in your life. Okay, there will be many problems in your life. So Buddha said that stay away from lying. And as the final precept, Buddha said that stay away from intoxicating yourself. Stay away from using drugs and other intoxicants, okay? Because that leads to a lot of sufferings in your life. So these are the main and basic Buddhist practice, or sila, or precepts, that all the Buddhists practice in all around the world. Okay, so basically these precepts or these virtues helps you to develop a better life and a happy life without regrets. Once monk Ananda asked from the Buddha, what is the purpose of practicing ethical conduct? Then the Buddha said, you should practice ethical conduct to stay away from regret and remorse in your life. Now, if you look at these things, if you look at these 5 precepts, killing, abstaining from stealing, abstaining from sexual misconduct, abstaining from telling lies, abstaining from using intoxicants, if you do these things, what will happen? At the end of this deed, there will be nothing but the regret. Okay, you end up regretting yourself, like, why did I do that? Okay, so Buddha said that that is one of the major harms to your life, to your spiritual life, for someone who is engaged and for someone who is seeking the peacefulness in your life. So Buddha said, practice a virtuous life and a clean and a pure life to be happy inside. Once you know that you are happy and you're clean and pure in your mind, in your character, then it will give you a big happiness to your life. So that is why we need to practice these virtues. Okay, that is the purpose of sila. So understand this simple Buddhist practice and try to practice these precepts in your life. Namo Buddhaya. Have you ever wondered why some people are so good and so clever in what they're doing? Maybe there are some people who are studying with you, maybe some people who are in your workspace. There are some people who are very clever and very capable of doing in their profession. Okay, they are very successful in it. What is the reason behind this? What is the reason behind this success? Well, if we can define success in one word, the only word that we can find is consistency. This quality is very important for all of our lives. Not only in your day-to-day life, not only in your career, but also in your spiritual path. Okay, if someone is practicing spiritual path, consistency is the key for success. Okay, now what do you mean by consistency? Consistency means doing something every single day or without stopping for a long period of time until you get better at it. Now, if we look at our life, there are some bad habits we all have in our life. Okay, why we are so good at these bad things? The reason behind why we are so good at bad things is we have done it for a long period of time every single day without stopping. That is the nature of our mind, and that is the nature of our life. Whether it is good or bad, if we are doing it consistently, or if we are doing it over and over for a long period of time, we get so good at it. That is why we are so good at distractions. That is why we are so good at anger, jealousy, and all these evil thoughts in our mind, because we have practiced it over a long period of time. Now, Buddha said, if you need to cultivate wholesome thoughts, and if you need to do, and if you need to be successful in your spiritual life, what are you going to do? You have to cultivate and you have to practice these wholesome thoughts or wholesome activities for a long period of time without stopping. Okay, every single day. Okay, let's keep the spiritual life for a part. Let's take the studying and education. Now, if you're someone who is studying, and if you're someone who is focused on education, what do you have to do? You have to keep studying. Okay, sometimes you find very difficult and very challenging to keep studying. Why? Because our mind gets distracted. Okay, sometimes we lose our focus. Now, in that time, so many of people, they complain that I cannot study. Okay, I'm distracting always. What is the reason? Why? What is the problem with me? Well, the only problem behind the failure or the unsuccessfulness is lack of consistency. Sometimes we try to study and then we feel tired and we feel less focused, and then we give up. Okay, and then after maybe like 2-3 days, again we try to study, and then again the same thing happen, and then we give up. Okay, in that way you're not going to be successful. Okay, if you want to be successful in any field of your life, maybe studying, maybe in your meditations, maybe in your spiritual life, maybe in kindness, maybe cultivating compassion in your life, what do you have to do? You have to be consistent. That is the only way to be successful in anything. I can still remember when we came to become monks. Okay, on the first day, our monks gave this first advice to us. That is, they said that it takes several minutes to become a monk physically. Okay, it takes a few minutes to make your body a monk, but it takes years and years, maybe lifetime, to be a monk from your mind. You will fail, you will be unsuccessful in some parts in your life, but you have to keep going. Do not ever quit. That is the first advice that we were given. So, to be good at anything, to be successful, to be happy, to be successful in your spiritual life, to practice meditations, to be good at that, what are you going to do? Keep doing it every single day. That is the thing. But there's a problem. The real problem, or the real enemy for the consistency, is the higher expectations. We set a lot of high expectations in our life, and when we are not able to get it, we give up. That is the only thing. Now, so many people come to me and complain that I cannot meditate for 1 hour. What is the problem with me? I cannot focus for 1 hour. Well, in the beginning, no one can do that. Okay, there may be some few lucky people in this world. Okay, they can concentrate instantly. But if you want to be good at in your meditations, in your focusing and your concentration power, what do you want to do? Keep doing it. Okay, do not set high expectations. Right? Aim for the little achievements. Maybe like you can focus and you can think, like before you are starting meditation, you can think, well, if my mind became concentrated or well focused only for 1 minute, that's okay. I'm happy with that 1 minute. Okay, when you focus on that, you can easily achieve it. You can do that. When you achieve it, you feel a sense of happiness in your life. You feel like you achieved that target. So in the next day, when you meditate, maybe you can focus your mind, or you can concentrate your mind for 2 minutes. Okay? So if you keep on focusing on little achievements and without having high expectations in your life in the first time, then you will be good at maintaining your consistency. Because sometimes when we don't see results, okay, when we don't get results quickly as we want, we just give up. That is the biggest problem in our minds. Okay, to be successful, you need to spend a period of time that you are not seeing the results. Okay, one day I was climbing, and in Sri Lanka we have a nice mountain where we climb to see the Buddha's footprint. Okay, that is called Adam's Peak, or the Sri Pada in Sri Lanka. So once we were climbing, we could not see the mountain top. We don't know where we are going. Okay, so one monk said to me, it doesn't matter, you cannot see where you are going, but if you're clear in your next step, take that step. Okay, and if you're in the correct path, no matter how fast or slow you go, you will go to your destination that you want to go. So always remember that it doesn't matter how fast or how slow you are moving towards success. The most important thing is that whether you're going to do it every single day in the correct way or not. So remember, consistency is the key for success for anything. So keep doing what you're doing, right? Keep doing the good works that you're doing, even if you don't see the results in your life. Keep doing it, and one day I'm very sure, I'm very sure that you will achieve your goals definitely. So keep that in your mind. May you be happy and well. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to another video. In today's video, I'm going to share a wonderful story with you. Now, in the Buddha's time, there was one monk whose name was Vakali, and he had this little habit of visiting the Buddha and looking at his face all the time. Okay, while the Buddha was teaching all the sermons, he was looking at his face. Okay, he was not paying attention to his teachings. Now, Buddha noticed this, and then the Buddha asked, Vakali, what are you doing? Then this monk said, Oh, Venerable Sir, I'm looking at your face, and beautiful and serene face. When I look at your serenity, when I look at your beautiful face, I feel so much better. I feel so much happy and peaceful in my mind. Then the Buddha said, Oh Vakali, what is the purpose of looking at a body that is decaying? A body that is filled with so many disgusting things. Vakali, remember this. If you want to see the real Buddha, you have to see it through my teachings. The Buddha said, the one who sees Dhamma, his teachings, sees the real Buddha. Now, this advice shows us that if we want to see the real Buddha, what we have to do? We have to see it through his teachings. Okay? That means we have to apply his teachings to our life. His kindness, his compassion, his generosity, his patience, all those qualities to our life. When we apply these qualities and when we practice the Buddha's advices in our life practically, we can see the real Buddha and we can understand who the Buddha is. Okay? So that is why in Buddhism, a huge focus, a major priority is given to practice. In each and every discourse and in each and every advice in the Buddha says, practice this. Apply it to your life. Apply it to your practical life and see how you can do it in your daily life. Okay? That is why in Buddhism, every teaching, every practice, and every advice is applicable to our practical life. When Buddha says to practice love and kindness, he does not come up with only just idea of loving kindness. He teaches us how to practice it. Okay, how you can practice in the times of adversities. When he teaches about the compassion, he teaches us how to practice this in your daily life. So, if you want to see the real Buddha, then what do you have to do? You have to see it from yourself. Okay, apply the Buddha's teachings to your life, and then we can identify who the Buddha was and his qualities. It is same like you are identifying your parents. Okay, now if you see a picture of your parent, maybe like your mother or father, if you see your father or mother's picture, then you identify, this is my mother and this is my father, not only through the picture, but also through his qualities. Okay, through their qualities, through the help and the care that they have given to our life. So in the same way, we have to identify the Buddha and we have to see the Buddha through his teachings, through practicing those teachings in our practical life. So here's the answer for this question. If you want to see the real Buddha, you got to practice the Buddha's teachings. So keep that in your mind. Namo Buddhaya.